Hello and welcome to How to Play Contract Rummy,
presented by GatherTogetherGames.com.
This video will cover how to play the card game Contract Rummy. The video will start with the general concepts and gameplay and then get into more of the details for the game. The game is played with 3 to 8 players. To play, you will need 2 decks of cards and a joker for 3 to 4 players. You will need a third deck and another joker for 5 to 8 players. The game is played over 7 deals. For the first 4 deals, each player will receive 10 cards. In the last 3 deals, each player will receive 12 cards. After the deal, the remaining deck is placed into the middle and the top card is flipped over to form a discard pile. The object of the game is to score the least amount of points during the game. Each round, the goal is to create specific types of melds with your cards depending on the deal you are in. A meld can be a group, which is 3 cards in the same rank, or a sequence, which is 3 cards in a row of the same suit. Each deal has a specific combination of melds for a player to try and get. For the first deal, players will try to get 2 groups of cards.
Going back to the hand that was dealt earlier, I have flipped up each player's cards for you to see. In an actual game, you will keep your cards hidden from the other players.
The player left of the dealer is first to play. Player 2 has the option to take the top discard or the top card from the deck. If the player wants the top card from the deck, all other players have the option to take the top card from the discard pile. Player 2 chooses to draw from the deck. First, any player can draw the discard if wanted. Player 4 would like the discard and draws it. When drawing the discard out of turn, the player must also draw a card from the deck as a penalty. Player 4 draws from the deck. Play returns to player 2 to draw from the deck. After drawing, a player can make a meld if possible. The first meld a player makes must be the specific meld combination for the round. Player 2 is not able to meld yet. Finally, a player's turn will end by discarding 1 card. Player 2 discards and play moves to player 3. Player 3 chooses to draw from the deck. First, any player can take the discard if wanted. No player wants the discard and player 3 draws from the deck. Player 3 is not able to make a meld and will end their turn with a discard. Play moves to player 4. Player 4 chooses to draw from the deck. First, player 2 wants to draw the top discard. Player 2 takes the jack and draws a penalty card from the deck. Player 4 then takes their turn. Play moves to player 1. Player 1 will draw the top discard. When it is a player's turn, there is no penalty card drawn for drawing the top discard. Player 1 discards to finish their turn. Play moves back to player 2. Player 2 draws the discard and is able to meld the first deal combination of 2 groups. Play continues until a player gets all their cards into the middle. Skipping ahead, player 2 draws to start their turn. After a player has made the initial meld, they are able to lay off cards onto their own or other players' melds. Player 2 is able to lay off a 9 and a 2 onto player 1's melds. Skipping ahead again, the play is on player 4 who draws. Player 4 is able to make the first meld. A player's first meld must be the exact combination for the round and nothing more. Player 4 melds the first deal's combination of 2 groups of 3. Although player 4 has additional cards that can be laid off on their own melds and other players' melds, player 4 cannot lay off until their next turn. Player 4 discards to end their turn. Play moves to player 1. Player 1 draws to start their turn and is able to lay off the 8 and the 10. Player 1 ends their turn by discarding their last card and ends the round by having no more cards in hand. At the end of the round, players will score points for the amount of cards left in their hands. Aces and the joker are worth 15 points. Face cards are worth 10 points. All other cards are worth face value. Player 2 has 17 points. Player 3 has 62 points. Player 4 has 53 points. The scores are recorded. The deal moves clockwise left to the next player, and all players will try for the deal 2 combination in this round. The player with the lowest score after the 7th deal wins the game. For rounds 1 through 6, the initial meld of a group or sequence is 3 cards. In round 7, a player needs to use all their cards in the 3 sequences of cards for their initial meld. This means when a player makes the first meld, the game is over. Only a specific round's meld combination can be melded by each player. All other cards in hand must be laid off and cannot be used to create another separate meld. The Joker is a wild card and can be used in a group or a sequence. When used in a sequence, the player with the card the Joker is being used for can lay it off to replace the Joker, and will move the Joker to either end of the sequence. Anytime a deal calls for multiple sequences, the sequences must be separate. A sequence of 6 cannot be used as 2 sequences of 3. When the initial sequence melds are separate, a connecting card can be laid off later, but the sequences remain separate. The ace can be a sequence below 2 or above king, but king, ace, 2 is not a valid sequence. That wraps up how to play Contract Rummy.
If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and get more game tutorials by subscribing to our channel, Gather Together Games. Thanks for watching.